Box notation in Sibelius, Dorico, and Musescore can be a big pain to implement in your scores. So in this video, I'm going to attempt to demystify the process by using an excerpt from my own orchestra piece, I Sheen, which I composed last year for the Los Angeles Philharmonic. So let's go ahead and get into it. So here's an example of my piece, I Sheen, which uses box notation pretty extensively throughout the entire piece. If you'd like to follow along with a PDF of this score, I actually do have a link of the per usual score of this piece in the link in the description below. So of course, I'm here in Sibelius. This is the program that I composed the piece in. We're at measure 134, where we see this contrabass part. We can already see that there's a box around these pitches here with a thick line that basically shows whatever music is going to be played in this box, please continue it in an aleatoric way all the way through to measure 138, where we see a new box with new pitches, new gesture basically inside that box. Now what we want to do in this exercise is do what we did with the contrabasses here and apply it to this cello line that's right over here. Now in Sibelius, it's really easy to do this. All you have to do is go to the notations tab over here and open up the lines window with this arrow right over here. And then at the very bottom or so, you'll see something that says box right here under where it says lines. Now for me, since it was one of the last used things, it's over here at the very top. But for you, it's probably going to be somewhere down here where it says lines. So I'm going to go ahead and click box right here. And you'll see this blue cursor just form here. I'm going to go ahead and click near where I want that box to be. And you'll see that this line starts to form. Don't worry, you're still going to make a box. All you got to do is take this cursor over here and just drag it to where you want it to be. And then you're done. Now you'll notice that my little quarter tone here is covered up. So what we're going to end up doing is actually just going to click on the edge here. You'll see the little box form right here. And I'm just going to drag it to the left. And there you go. We don't have any collisions anymore on that quarter tone. Now, the next thing, of course, that we need to do is build this thick line right after it. Now, Sibelius doesn't have these thick lines by default, so we're going to have to make these lines ourselves. So now we're going to go back to the lines function here, but instead of clicking on this arrow right here, I'm going to show you a keyboard shortcut. All you got to do is click L on your keyboard and the lines window comes right back up again. Now, when you go back down to where it says lines, you'll notice on your screen that you won't have a line that is thick as mine. You'll actually just see these over here. These are the things that I actually built myself to make these thick lines. So we're going to build a thick line ourselves together. So let's now get out of this lines window. And what we're going to do, it's actually a little bit tricky. You're going to go to the lines window up here again, but instead of hitting this arrow here, you're going to hit this one that kind of looks like a drop down to the bottom right. You're going to hit this and you'll see that it says edit lines. We're going to go ahead and do that. And now this new lines window comes up. And what you're going to do is go down and see where that horizontal line is. And you're going to go ahead and click that. Then you're going to hit the button new. Now the reason you want to hit new instead of edit is because when you hit new, you're actually making a new line based on the line that you see in that window. If you click edit though, you're going to be editing the pre-existing line that comes with Sibelius. You don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and click yes, I'm sure that I want to make a new line based on this line. And then you'll see a new window pop up. Now I'm going to give a new name to this. I'm going to go ahead and say thick line. I'm going to make it in all caps so that I could see it pretty easily. So I'm just going to change the width of what we see here to something much larger than 0.25 spaces. Let's go with something like 2 spaces and let's see what the line is going to look like now. So you'll see the line is a lot thicker now. So we're happy with that. So let's go ahead and click OK. Now we're back in the edit lines window and we see that our thick line is ready to go. Go ahead and click close. Now let's head back to the lines window by clicking L on our keyboard and scroll back down to where we see lines in this window. And you'll notice, oh, look right there. We got our thick line right there. So let's go ahead and use it. Why not? We just made it. So let's click it. Again, you see the blue cursor here. And I'm going to put it just about where I want it to be. So let's go ahead and click there. And bam, there it is right there. Now all you have to do is drag it just like we did with the box. So I'm going to go ahead and finagle this close to where the box is. And then I want to click on the right side there and then drag it all the way to the right here. And there you go. Let's figure out how to do that in the other programs. Now let's try the same lick in Dorico. Now here we are with the same exact lick in Dorico. We're going to have to figure out how to put this box around it first. It's kind of strange in Dorico. The first thing that we're going to have to do is get out of write mode at the very top of the screen here and go ahead and click engrave. Now this might seem strange as of this taping. I don't think that Dorico has an intuitive way to make a box the way that Sibelius does. So what I'm going to do instead is go ahead and click on this icon here called frames. Then I'm going to go ahead and click text frame, and then I'm going to drag this cursor right around my music here, and then I'm just going to fit it however which way I'd like to fit it here. The very next thing that we're going to do is pull up the properties window by clicking Command 8 if you're on a Mac, and you'll notice that there's a checkbox here that says show border. We actually want to go ahead and click that, and then the black box actually appears. And if we want to change the thickness of the box, we can do that pretty easily. Now it's really thick. We don't want it that thick. We want to actually bring it back to what it was before. Now for us to make the line, we're going to actually have to go back to the write mode, head all the way to the right side of the screen, click on panels, then go all the way down to where it says lines, and then you'll see a big list of lines that you can choose from there. So what I'm going to do is actually just take the solid line right here. It just looks like any other normal line, and you're going to see this gray cursor kind of appear over here, and I'm just going to go ahead and click randomly where I'd want it. Now you'll notice the line is very, very narrow. I'm just going to go ahead and thicken it by going back to my properties window, Command 8, and I'm going to go ahead and see where it says custom scale. I'm going to go ahead and click that, and then I'm just going to make it a lot bigger. Let's call it, I don't know, 300 and see what happens. Okay, it got a lot thicker, but I want it to be way more thicker than that. Way more thicker? No, way more thick. 999. Okay, that looks pretty good. You'll notice it's really, really high here. I actually can just make an automatic adjustment to that by clicking on placement, and then you'll see it says above. I want it right inside the staff, so I'm going to go ahead and click that, and bam, it's right in the middle of the staff, just like it was in Sibelius. Then I'm going to go back to engrave mode over here, and I'm just going to finagle this a little bit. I'm going to go over here, push it to the right, then I'm going to drag this out as much as I need to, and then if I was actually working in Dorico, you would see all the other stabs here, but that's basically how you do the same exact thing in Dorico. All right, now we're in Musescore with the same exact cello lick, and we're going to figure out how to put a box around it. Now there wasn't really a natural way for me to put a box around these pitches like I did in Dorico and Sibelius. So instead of finagling a bunch of lines together in Musescore to make a box, I actually decided, why don't I just import a transparent box from an online place like Wikipedia and use that as my box in Musescore. So here we are on this Wikipedia page. It's just a regular rectangular box with a transparent background. It's an SVG file, so you're going to be able to make it big and small in the program really easily. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag and drop this SVG file straight into my Musescore document, and it looks like I have to put it up in this area. I'm not really sure why. Not a Musescore expert. It seems to only work when I put it here. Then I'm just going to go ahead and drag that box right where I want it to be, and then just make this a little bit bigger like that. And then I'm just going to pretty much try to finagle it right around the pitches in question. And there you go. There's my box. It's not really the most elegant solution, but I really didn't like putting together all those random lines together to make a box in this program. Now making the line is a bit more straightforward. I'm going to go ahead to the left-hand side here where it says lines. Going to go ahead and click on that. Then I'm going to find the line right here. I'm going to go ahead and drag that line just around here. Click that line. Go ahead and find the properties of the line. And I'm just going to make it a bunch more thicker. Maybe like, let's put 2 there. Yeah, it's a really thick line. And I'm just going to drag it exactly where I want it. And bam, we have the same exact notation that we had in the last couple of files. Now, I am very curious to find out from you if you know any other easier workarounds to anything that I've shown in this video. And I do have a lot of ideas for what other techniques that I would like to show in this side-by-side format, but please let me know down in the comments below if you have any ideas for what I should show next. See you next time.